Once the lightning Kuai and the 72 azure bamboo cloudswarm swords were swallowed by the profound heavenly gourd, Han Li sealed it without delay and gently shook it in his hands. A muffled thunder roared from within as golden lightning burst across the gourd's surface, only to be suppressed by his will. A sharp crack followed, then another, until fissures crawled across the entire vessel. Without hesitation, Han Li flung the gourd skyward. Golden threads of time law streamed from his palms, binding it tightly as if cloaked in a radiant mantle. Though riddled with cracks, the gourd barely held together under the reinforcement of time power, its runes blazing ever brighter. Peering inside with his infernal devilish eyes, Han Li saw the 72 swords pressed against the inner walls in a complete refinement array, while the lightning Kai hovered at the center, wrapped in dark green light. Sword array and green radiance strained with all their might to restrain the eye's boundless power. Though the lightning Kuai held the advantage and had already shattered the gourd's structure, the opposing forces forced a fragile stalemate. Hours passed before the profound heavenly gourd could endure no longer. With a deafening boom, it exploded. Dark green light erupted and transformed into a sword beam that cleaved sea and sky, tearing open a massive spatial rift pulsing with terrifying fluctuations. The lightning Kuai shattered into dazzling golden radiance, within which countless lightning Kuai phantoms rampaged. The scattered azure bamboo swords plunged into the golden light, which flared so brilliantly that even Han Li could not see within. Yet strange fluctuations stirred, and sword light suddenly burst outward in all directions. One streak flew into the collapsing rift. Han Li's expression changed as he thrust his arm inside and yanked it back. His sleeve was shredded, but his arm was unharmed. In his grasp was not a sword, but a tiny green hand. In the next instant, all sword light returned to him, settling upon his body and transforming into 72 small green figures, each about a foot tall. Some perched on his shoulders, others climbed onto his head, several swung from his arms, and one even stood on his nose, peering into his eyes. Their bodies were jade green, hair and eyes tinged with gold, with delicate golden lightning bands around their wrists and ankles. Han Li counted them. Exactly 72. A spark of realization crossed his face. Had the swords birthed spirits after absorbing the lightning Kui's power? As if answering him, the tiny figures rose and merged into 72 flying swords. Each blade was now etched with golden lightning patterns, their auras unmistakably those of third-tier immortal treasures, far beyond his expectations. Though only a single tier higher, the difference was vast, especially multiplied by 72. The swords resonated with him as though part of his own body, forming a mighty sword array without any command. Thunder boomed as a colossal heavenly gate appeared in the sky, lightning aura leaking from its sealed doors, enough to make even Han Li wary. Within the gate churned a golden sea filled with multicolored lightning worms, space itself trembling and tearing under its might. Satisfied, Han Li willed the gate shut, and it faded away. The swords reverted into miniature green children and were swept away with a flick of his sleeve. He opened the flower branch domain, where Violet Spirit awaited in the bamboo pavilion. "How did it go?" she asked. Han Li hesitated. Everything went smoothly, but... "Go do what you must," she said softly. "If possible, I'd like to go with you." "It's too dangerous. I can't take you to the heavenly court," he replied. "I understand." "I'll wait for you," she said calmly. "I'll take you to the underworld first. You may stay there or go to the devil realm. I'll come for you when I'm done." She nodded. Leaving the domain, Han Li formed a lightning teleportation array, and the two vanished from the lightning sea. 1 month later, in the underworld, a black-robed woman paced anxiously before the stone palace at the heart of the Yellow Springs. Worm 3 had waited there for half a month. When a streak of golden light pierced the 6 paths, gale winds, and descended upon the island, her face lit up. Han Li and Violet Spirit appeared before her. "Where is the palace master?" Han Li asked. "Let's go inside first," Worm 3 said uneasily. Once the gates closed, she revealed the truth. "Father has already gone to the Middle-earth Immortal region." Han Li was startled. Why? Out of guilt over Mother, and other reasons, the true Immortal realm will only grow more chaotic. Though the Heavenly Court promised to release her, Father knows it won't be simple. He couldn't find where she's held, but he did learn who captured her. Who? Hanli asked. Feng Qingshui, the Water Dao ancestor. Recognition flickered in Hanli's eyes. He had met Feng Qingshui in the Grey Realm. I want everything you know about him, his background, immortal manner, whereabouts, and battle records, Hanli said coldly. You intend to go after him? Worm 3 asked. Your father told you this precisely so I would, Hanli replied evenly. Father never mentioned that. Feng Qingshui is a Dao ancestor, while you... Hanli did not waste words. In a single breath, he revealed his true cultivation to Worm 3. In that instant, it was as though the heavens themselves collapsed upon the island. He tightly reined in his aura to a 1,000-foot radius, yet within that space, he was like a sovereign deity, heaven and earth answering his every thought. Worm 3 staggered back under the pressure, her mind blank with shock. Only after steadying her breath did she speak again. To advance so far in such a short time, no wonder, Father. Her voice trailed off before she finished the thought. With him drawing the heavenly court's gaze, now is my best chance to deal with Feng Qingshui. So long as he isn't at the court, Hanli said, suppressing his aura once more. Then fortune favors you, Worm 3 replied. He's cultivating in seclusion within the Dragon Abyss Immortal region, at the Mist Dragon sect he founded. Good, I leave tomorrow. I'm coming with you, Worm 3 said at once. No, Hanli rejected calmly. Why not, my mother? She chose to be Nangongwan. She is not your mother, and she wouldn't want you following me, Hanli interrupted. I don't care how you define it. In my eyes, she is my mother, Worm 3 insisted. At your current cultivation, you would only hinder me. I also need you to escort Violet Spirit to the Devil Realm, Hanli said bluntly. Worm 3's expression dimmed. You're right, but why the Devil Realm? Has something happened? Hanli asked sharply. Are you truly unaware? Worm 3 replied gravely. The Devil Realm has been in civil war for over 1,000 years. 7 years ago, Night Sun City was annihilated, the Xianxia spatial domain erased. Shi Chuankong and Shi Kongji suffered a crushing defeat. Are they alive? The realm is sealed. Our sources say Shi Kongji fell to the devilish monarch. Shi Chuankong vanished, dead or alive, unknown. Silence settled heavily. Still no news after 7 years? Violet Spirit asked softly. The devilish monarch personally sealed the realm, Worm 3 said, shaking her head. When I return from the heavenly court, I'll go to the devil realm myself, Hanli said coldly. For now, Violet Spirit, wait for me in the underworld. She nodded. And Weeping Soul? Hanli asked. She entered the Soulfall Abyss over a century ago. Hanli closed his eyes. A speck of white light flickered at his brow. Our spiritual link is gone, he said quietly. In that abyss, all connections are severed, Worm 3 replied. This is the path she chose, Violet Spirit said gently, gripping Hanli's hand. He could only nod. Each of them walked their own road, just as his led straight against the heavenly court. I leave for Dragon Abyss tomorrow. Prepare all information on Feng Qingshui, Hanli said. That night, Hanli lay beside Violet Spirit atop the palace roof, clouds veiling the moon. Her beauty glimmered softly in the dim light. Guilt stirred in his heart. She was as dear to him as Nangongwan, yet fate forever kept them apart. He began. There's no need, Violet Spirit said, gazing skyward. Just being like this is enough. She rested against him, whispering, Bring Big Sister Wanner back safely. I'll wait. Then she spoke of her past life, a mortal woman waiting a lifetime for someone who never came. That's why I have no regrets now, she murmured. I finally met the one I waited for. Rain soon fell, ghostly and cold. She tugged at his sleeve, and he understood. He carried her inside as the storm deepened through the night. Morning came. Hanli rose quietly, gazing at Violet Spirit's sleeping face. Unable to speak, he departed. A tear slid down her cheek as the door closed. At the palace gate, Ganjuzhen awaited him, handing over a Bodhi token and jade slip. With this, you can pass as a guest of the Bodhi banquet, she said. Please, save my mother. I will, Hanli replied. Golden lightning flashed, and he vanished, leaving her staring after him in silence. Not long after Hanli departed, a phantom figure quietly appeared beside Ganjuzhen. It was merely the projection of the reincarnation palace master. She showed no surprise as he asked calmly, What do you think of him now? He feels utterly unfathomable, Ganjuzhen replied. Only in your presence have I sensed such boundless might. How did he grow so powerful in such a short span? With a faint smile, the palace master said, "He has likely severed his kind corpse soul. At that point, his strength would not fall far behind even mine." "Late great encompassment already?" Ganjujin exclaimed in disbelief. "How is that possible?" "I cannot say how," he replied, "but the three paramount laws are closest to the heavenly Tao. Once both wicked and kind corpse souls are severed, a cultivator may draw upon Tao itself, rivaling or surpassing ordinary Tao ancestors. As a reincarnation law cultivator, this is something you may one day reach as well." Ganjujin clenched her fists, resolve blazing in her eyes. "Then I must cultivate even harder. The path of the paramount laws is arduous, especially at great encompassment," he warned. "Countless have tried and failed. Ambition without restraint leads only to ruin." "Yes, father," she replied sheepishly. "If you wish to advance, travel the mortal realms," he advised. Ganjujin frowned in confusion. He explained gently, "To sever the kind corpse soul, one must truly understand kindness. Many immortals lose sight of it over endless years. Mortal journeys can rekindle that heart." She fell silent in thought as he continued, "Those who live kindly gain great blessings in reincarnation. Even with my command of the six paths, altering such fates is no easy matter." After a pause, Ganjujin asked softly, "Father, will you truly follow Guhojin's plan?" "A clash with the heavenly court is inevitable," he said gravely. "Your mother has been captured. You must remain safe." "I want to rescue her with you," she said firmly. "No," he barked sternly. "You will not leave this island." Startled by his rare severity, she shuddered, yet her resolve remained. "Only if you are safe can I act without restraint," he sighed, resting a hand on her shoulder. "Leave your mother to Hanli and me." With that, his projection vanished. Ganjujin stood dazed for a long while before quietly heading deeper into the palace. Dragon Abyss, Immortal Region, Sky Sea Continent, Mist Dragon City. Water dominated this vast immortal region, with scattered islands amid endless seas. The largest landmass was Sky Sea Continent, home to the famed Mist Dragon City. Guarded by the legendary Mist Dragon sect, the city stood as the region's beating heart, its sect reigning supreme for countless years under the shadow of Tao ancestor Feng Qingshui. At the city's center lay a colossal plaza patrolled by blue-robed outer disciples. Rising above it was a towering azure archway, etched with countless formations, supporting thousands of flashing teleportation arrays linked to distant immortal regions. At that moment, 6 figures emerged from one array. 5 chatted excitedly, while an azure-robed man stood apart. "So this is Mist Dragon City," a blue-robed woman exclaimed. "The world origin key here is incredible, far beyond our eternal sky immortal region." "Naturally so," said a black-robed elder, the group's golden immortal leader. "This is one of the 36 great immortal regions. Pooling our funds to come here was worth it." He turned with a smile. "We also owe thanks to fellow Taoist Han." "You're too kind," the azure-robed man replied lightly. "Traveling together saved me many immortal origin stones." With a sigh, the elder said, "We're nearly penniless now. Hard days lie ahead, but we'll carve out a foothold." Then he invited, "Fellow Taoist Han, why not join us? Strength lies in numbers." "I have private matters to attend to," Hanli replied, cupping his fists. "May your paths be smooth." Though disappointed, the elder departed with his companions. Hanli remained, calmly surveying the plaza. A guard barked at him to move along, but Hanli ignored him. Enraged, the guard stepped forward, then froze. Though Hanli stood still, the guard's soul trembled uncontrollably. Hanli released his spiritual sense. Though the Dragon Abyss immortal region was vast, Sky Sea Continent and the Mist Dragon sect lay fully within his perception. Yet he sensed neither Nangongwan nor Feng Qingshui. Impossible. Even a Tao ancestor should not evade me now. After brief contemplation, Hanli turned his gaze toward the guard. Murky light shimmered in his eyes as the guard's memories unraveled before him like a scroll. With his mastery of the spirit refinement technique, such scrutiny was effortless. Having gleaned what he needed, Hanli vanished. The guard blinked, shuddering as awareness returned. "What just happened?" he muttered, sensing a gap in his memory. After a moment of confusion, he scratched his head and resumed his patrol. Without stirring the slightest ripple, Hanli appeared before a tranquil palace within the Mist Dragon sect. 2 blue-armored guards, both late High Zenith cultivators, flanked the entrance. Shock flashed across their faces. But before alarm could rise, A faint glint passed through Hanli's eyes, freezing them stiff as carved stone. He studied the tightly sealed gates, their surface shimmering with hazy blue restriction light. After a brief glance, Hanli swept his sleeve. 72 arcs of lightning leapt forth and vanished into space. In the blink of an eye, 72 golden lightning swords manifested across the sky-sea continent, forming a vast encirclement. Lightning intertwined into a dome that swallowed the entire landmass, then vanished as swiftly as it appeared. Dark clouds gathered overhead. Cultivators across the continent noticed the changing skies, but none felt alarm. Storms were common in the Dragon Abyss, Immortal region. A streak of golden light shot toward the palace. The restrictions flared, resisting desperately, yet the golden radiance passed straight through. Inside sat a gaunt elderly man, cross-legged on a cushion, a 10-foot blue flower projection hovering above him as fragrant petals drifted through the hall. His eyes snapped open, but Hanli was already there. Blue radiance erupted from the old man as a peak great encompassment aura surged forth. A thunderous roar echoed as a colossal blue dragon projection unfurled around him. In an instant, his aged body rejuvenated. White hair turned black, skin gleamed like jade, and his presence became fierce and violent. He struck. The dragon lunged with his fist, shattering space like cracked porcelain. Sect-wide restrictions ignited, bathing the Mist Dragon sect in blue light as boundless world-origin Qi converged, pouring into the palace. Waves of blue brilliance slammed toward Hanli, heavier and more crushing than the punch itself, pressing down like the abyssal sea. Hanli did not retreat. He calmly thrust out a fist. A massive golden fist projection formed, plain, silent, without fluctuation, yet it tore through dragon shadow and blue torrents as though cleaving mist. Shock flashed across the old man's face. He turned to flee, but the golden fist appeared above him, unfolding into a vast palm that slammed down. A deafening boom shook the palace. Half his body was driven into the ground, blood spraying as his form reverted to frail age. A finger appeared at his brow. Translucent chains shot forth and vanished into his glabella. His eyes dulled, body stiffening, and he was lifted effortlessly away as Hanli vanished with him. The blue light faded, cracked space slowly healed. Moments later, 3 figures arrived outside the palace. A stern middle-aged man, a blue-robed young woman, and a child barely 3 feet tall. The first 2 were mid-great encompassment. The child, late great encompassment. The unconscious guards sprawled before them. "What's happening inside, sect leader?" The middle-aged man called. No answer. They entered. Chaos filled the hall. Only a pool of blood remained. "Our sect leader? Abducted," the man said grimly. "But sect leader Xianxia is peak great encompassment. Who could? Unless—" The woman fell silent. "A Dao ancestor?" the child said softly, his voice ancient beyond his years. "Impossible," the man protested. "The true immortal realm is in turmoil," the child replied. "We must inform the patriarch." Elsewhere, within a vast golden sphere drifting through space, larger within than without, Hanli stood over Yangshan. Mountains and forests spread beneath the golden glow. Hanli pressed a palm to Yangshan's head, attempting a soul search, then paused. A strange seal bound all memories together. Unstable and absolute, force would mean instant self-destruction. After a moment, Hanli sealed Yangshan's cultivation, withdrew the soul chains, and stepped back. Yangshan opened his eyes. "Which Dao ancestor are you, and why abduct me?" "I only seek answers," Hanli said calmly. "Once given, you may leave." Yangshan closed his eyes. "I refuse." Hanli smiled faintly. "Then you'll endure some discomfort. If you think you can search my soul, try it," Yangshan sneered. "Even Dao ancestors can't bypass the 9-dragon seal our patriarch placed." "So Feng Qingshui personally sealed you," Hanli replied lightly. "That seal may stop others, but not me." Sect leader Yangshan curled his lips in scorn, clearly convinced that Hanli's words were nothing but empty bravado. "The 9-dragon seal is bound to your very soul and carries 9 intertwined forces. Any foreign intrusion would trigger an instant detonation. Troublesome indeed." Hanli said lightly, a faint smile on his lips. Yangshan merely closed his eyes again, cold mockery lingering on his face. "But this seal draws strength from your soul," Hanli continued calmly. "Weaken the soul, and the seal weakens with it. If your soul falls back to the golden immortal realm, then even should it explode, I could suppress it with ease." Yangshan's eyes flew open. unease finally flashing across his features. Before he could react, Han Li raised his hand and spread his fingers. 5 rays of golden light burst forth, one fierce as fire, one gentle as water, one heavy as earth, one vibrant as wood, and one sharp as metal. Each carried a distinct current of time law, and together they descended, weaving into a radiant barrier around Yangshan. The 5 time laws fused seamlessly, golden light flooding the surrounding spirit domain. Time itself twisted violently around Yangshan. He cried out in agony as his aura plummeted. In an instant, he was dragged down from peak great encompassment to the golden immortal stage. This was no illusion. His law comprehension, immortal acupoints, and soul power all collapsed to that level. To regain his former height, he would have to cultivate from the golden immortal stage anew. "What did you do to me?" Yangshan roared, desperately trying to detonate his own soul, but Han Li subdued him with ease. With his current cultivation, Han Li wielded the 5 elemental illusory world far more smoothly. Now that Yangshan's soul had weakened, the 9-dragon seal could no longer bar his way. Han Li pierced straight through, laying Yangshan's memories bare. "So he's in the Mist Dragon secret area. You should have spoken sooner and spared yourself the pain." Han Li sneered, withdrawing his hand as Yangshan collapsed into unconsciousness. With a sweep of his sleeve, golden light engulfed Yangshan, erasing him from the spot. Han Li vanished as well. Deep within a secluded valley of the Mist Dragon sect, 3 streaks of light descended, the same 3 great encompassment cultivators as before. At the valley's end stood an unremarkable stone door. All 3 knelt, and Elder Ji lit an incense stick. Blue smoke drifted forth, seeping through the door. Beyond lay a boundless sea suspended beneath a radiant blue sun. Blue mist rose from the waters like vapor under sunlight. From time to time, colossal waves surged, revealing massive tails or claws beneath the surface. On the seabed rested an immense cavern, packed with bizarre stone formations forming a vast forest. Countless gigantic skeletons lay within, some thousands, others hundreds of thousands of feet long, each exuding an arrogant, ancient pressure. Dragon remains. This was a dragon tomb. Seated upon a blue rock within the cavern was Feng Qingshui, gazing into the void in quiet contemplation. After a while, he reached out. A vortex of blue mist formed before him. "What brings all 3 of you here at once?" Feng Qingshui asked. Elder Ji's voice echoed from the vortex, apologizing before explaining that sect leader Yangshan had vanished, likely seized by a Dao ancestor. "Oh?" Feng Qingshui said coolly. "Explain." Elder Ji recounted everything in detail. To abduct Yangshan so swiftly, even with the 4 seas crashing waves array active, it does suggest a Dao ancestor, Feng Qingshui mused. What unsettled him more was that he had sensed nothing at all. After a brief pause, he said, "Very well, I'll investigate." A thunderous voice cut him off. "No need. Your sect leader is already with me." The secret area shook violently as a towering pillar of golden light descended, obliterating the blue vortex and severing contact with the outside. Feng Qingshui retreated in alarm, white mist surging from his body and rendering him indistinct. As the golden light faded, Han Li stood revealed. Feng Qingshui felt a strange familiarity. At his level, disguises were meaningless. Han Li was showing his true form. Ignoring him, Han Li spread his spiritual sense across the entire Mist Dragon secret area. Countless, pure-blood dragons swam the vast sea, nearly 20 at the great encompassment stage, while dragon skeletons littered the depths. None of this held his interest. His search yielded nothing, and his expression darkened. "It's you!" Feng Qingshui exclaimed, recognition dawning. He recalled Han Li as one of the intruders in Asura City long ago, back when Han Li had only been a peak golden immortal. Such growth in so short a time was staggering. "So it was you all along," Feng Qingshui thought. "Was it you who captured Wanner?" Han Li demanded coldly. "I don't know who that is. Why have you seized my sect leader?" Feng Qingshui countered. "Don't feign ignorance," Han Li sneered. Conjuring a sphere of golden light that revealed Nangongwan's visage, Feng Qingshui smiled faintly but stayed silent. "Hand her over now. I'll release your sect leader and leave," Han Li said icily. "Refuse, and I won't be gentle." "I can't remember the last time someone spoke to me this way," Feng Qingshui replied calmly. "Yes, I captured that woman, but under heavenly court orders, she has already been sent there." Han Li had expected this, yet his face still paled slightly. "Why does the heavenly court want her?" he asked. I don't know, Feng Qingshui said evenly. I merely followed orders. They saw no need to explain.